Hey guys, welcome back to another reading vlog. I just ended the other one, actually, my most recent one, where I read horror and fantasy, and I'm kind of on a roll, so I thought I would just continue and start the next one. So I actually started, it's Monday today, sorry, it's Monday the 4th of August. Yesterday I started a non-fiction book. I randomly just didn't have anything to read, so I just went on to the library app and I borrowed Outlive by Peter, the last name's blanking me, but Peter something, and it's just a non-fiction about like extending your lifespan and your health span. So basically, how can we live longer and healthier? So yeah, it's really interesting. It's quite sciencey at the moment, but I just started it. I think I'm like 60 pages in. So it's going good, but I actually just got to the library and I picked up a physical copy of Nettle and Bone. Looking at this cover, I swear to God, I've read this book. I don't know. I feel like I could have borrowed it, but didn't end up reading it. That's the thing, I feel like I've had this book in my hands, but I don't remember this story. So, yeah. Anyways, the plan is to read this, kind of alongside my non-fiction. But yeah, that's the update. I'm reading Outlive, and it's going pretty well, and then I'm going to start on Nettle and Bone officially. And I will update you guys when I have thoughts. It's Friday. I realized I didn't give an update since Monday and I've made some progress, so I should probably tell you what's happening. So as I said before, I started Outlive. I'm about halfway through that one. It's going okay. I feel like I can't judge it right now. Basically, I'll tell you what's happened so far. The book is split into like two main sections. The first part is quite like a textbook. I mean, I should have expected it because the title is The Science and Art of Longevity. So maybe I should have expected that. But yeah, it's quite like, it's like someone basically summarizing the most recent findings / important information you need to know. And it's all about chronic disease. Basically gives us background and the recent kind of findings when it comes to treating these chronic diseases. So I think the four main ones are heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's / other neurodegenerative diseases. So it's been fine. Like, I feel that I don't mind it, because if this is going to be like the groundwork for the next part, which is all about the tactics that we should be doing to help improve our lifespan and our health span, then I don't mind. But yeah, it's kind of like a textbook vibe so far. Since Monday, I also started Nettle and Bone, and I realized I can't read two books at once. Like, it's just not going to happen. I have too little time. And it's going to annoy me, the fact that I'm flitting between two books and not finishing either one. So I just picked Outlive, and that's why I'm making more progress. But Nettle and Bone, it's there, it's ready, I'm going to get to it, and I will finish it. The funniest part though is I did read like the first few pages, and guys, I think I've read Nettle and Bone. Like, I've started Nettle and Bone before and I completely forgot. I went back through all of my reading logs because I was like, I've read this before. So I went through all the reading logs I've written down and it's not there. So I think I've started Nettle and Bone and not finished it. And I feel I got like the ebook, because I don't ever remember holding the physical book in my hand. So conclusion, I never finished it. So it's still all new. Like, it still feels new because I don't remember it at all, but I remember that first scene. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue that. Ooh. But right now we're on a little, camera shaking. Right now I'm on a little non-fiction journey. Hey guys, it is Friday. It's the 22nd of August. I realize I haven't updated you for this week. So quick update. I finished Outlive like last week. So I'm well into Nettle and Bone at this point, but I will give my final thoughts on Outlive probably later, and I'll sit down and actually give my in-depth thoughts. It was okay. It wasn't what I expected it to be, and I think I was going in expecting to get a lot more out of it than I did, but it was still okay, and it was still beneficial to read, if that makes sense. But I'm well into Nettle and Bone now. I'm very excited because I'm well over halfway, and that's been going really well. I'm sorry if you can hear the rain. It's just started back up again. But yeah, it's going well. I'm over halfway. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the characters, and I have no idea what's going to happen at the end. So that's really all I can ask for from a book. It's very much like fairy tale kind of vibe. So yeah. Anyways, that's the reading. I'll update you guys probably tomorrow. But yeah. Hey guys, welcome back. It is Saturday. There is a huge magpie on that roof. I always get distracted. I should not film in front of a window. Anyways, I decided that it's time to wrap up this vlog because I've got thoughts about the books I've read and it's time to wrap this one up. So as I said before, I finished Outlive actually, I think maybe like last week Saturday. Was it last week? I think so. I think last week Saturday I finished Outlive, and I feel like I need to give my thoughts. Mainframe. Yeah. I need to give my thoughts on Outlive because I just think it was not what I expected. Essentially, I didn't plan on reading it. I had nothing to read, and then I found it on my iPad on like the online library app, and I was like, yeah, why not? I've seen this book going around. Seems like a cool like an important concept. Let me pick it up, let me read it. And I think my expectations for the book was to read it and gain something new, which is not a bad expectation, but that was just what I thought I was going to get out of it. And so I kept reading it, and as I said before, it's kind of in two parts. Part one is sort of like science and like context about the chronic diseases that mainly affect us. So that was part one. And then part two is sort of like the lifestyle tactics we can use to help prevent these conditions. And so part two goes into exercise, nutrition. I actually wrote notes, so one second, where are my notes? Because I'm not going to go into every single thing, but just so that you guys know like what. Yeah, so it was exercise, nutrition, sleep, emotional health. Those were the four. And then like drugs and things you can take as well. So, everything's falling over. Okay, yeah. So that was kind of the structure of the book. And reading through part one, I was like, this is not what I thought I was going to be reading. It felt very much like a textbook, but I was like, you know what? This information is relevant, it's important, it's just factual. It's just good to know. And also a lot of the stuff I covered when I was in uni, so it was like a nice refresher for me. I was like, oh, I remember learning this, and this is the kind of stuff I'm interested in. So it was just overall like nothing new, but good to refresh my brain, you know, good to refresh my memory. So that was great. But I was really excited for part two because I thought, again, this expectation of I'm going to learn something new. Part two, we get into sort of the lifestyle things like exercise and nutrition, and a lot of the stuff just felt, I'm not saying this to be rude or like demeaning, it just felt like stuff I just knew and I have already been told, and so it was surprising that it was in this book, if that makes sense. Like, I guess it was good because for me it was like, okay, a doctor who has spent his whole career treating how many diseases, and now he works, I believe, he works in a clinic to help people with longevity. So it's nice to know that these things are rooted in science and important and like can actually have positive impacts. But yeah, it's things like in exercise, like engaging your core and how to plant your feet on the ground and things like that. And I was like, oh, I did not think that this is what the book would be going into. The nutrition chapter was a lot more of like trying to present studies and science, and sort of some tactics that people use when it comes to, you know, trying to reduce risk of diabetes or treating people who have diabetes and things like that, as an example. And emotional health was also like a nice note. I mean, I think he had a personal story there to tell us, and that was really good. So it wasn't a bad book. It's just I had an expectation that I was going to learn something new, and I don't feel like I really did. I more just got a refresher. And so I'm not really mad about it, but I definitely think maybe towards the end I was sort of like, oh, I'm losing a bit of interest now. But yeah, it was a solid book. It's a good book. I guess my ending note is, if you are someone who already reads a lot of stuff like this about health and exercise and nutrition and well-being and stuff like that, maybe this book would be nothing new. But if you've never read stuff like that, maybe especially if you didn't do I did nutrition science at uni, so I think a lot of the biochemistry stuff and the science things, that part one of the book was not new. So if you've done science at uni, if you've done biochemistry at uni, if you've done physiology or medicine or whatever, then maybe the information would be, again, not new. But if you've never read stuff like this before, if you studied something completely different, or you've never studied something like this before, it actually might be really great. So it's just kind of like depends on yourself and like where you're at and what you want to learn and what you've already learned so far. And yeah, so I'm not hating on the book. It's just I had an expectation and then it wasn't what I expected. So that's Outlive. So after I finished Outlive, I was like, I need to get into Nettle and Bone. So that's what I've been doing, and I finished it. And I think this week was really about trying to read Nettle and Bone, and I was struggling to find time to read, but I just was like, I need to sit down, I need to read it. And I kept even when I was so tired, I was so excited at the end of the day to always pick it up. And I was sitting in bed and I would like try not to fall asleep, but I was just pushing through because I was really enjoying it. So quick synopsis, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think part of the allure is not knowing, but we follow a princess who is on a quest to kill a prince, a very powerful prince, and he's basically kind of threatening the lives of her family, her sisters, and just is a threat to her kingdom as well. So she goes on a quest and she kind of goes in search of different characters along the way who kind of join her force, join her party, and it's just so entertaining to read her character and to like see all these other different characters come along to help her on this mission. And it definitely has a sort of fairy tale vibe. The only thing that I would say, it's not a bad thing, again, it does make it more accessible, I think, to a modern audience, but the way the characters speak is very much how we would speak, which is a bit jarring because I feel like the setting is meant to be almost like this olden day, more like fairy tale, like olden fairy tale kind of setting. So that's my one little qualm about the dialogue, but I'm not mad, you know, because I still enjoy the story. I also realised Nettle and Bone fits the horror fantasy category. So if you don't know, that was one of my other reading vlogs where I was just reading horror fantasy books, and again, like not really like scary. Certain like things were a little bit more like disturbing, I guess, but I think this is my peak genre. Like tied with dark academia, horror / fantasy genre is up there with my wintry autumnal faves, I think, because it's just so atmospheric. It's just got that like darkness to it, which I think adds a little bit of edge and like excitement. I also feel like it just gives the author this like other layer to be creative with. So yeah, I really enjoyed Nettle and Bone, and I think this must be my my first T. Kingfisher novel as well. Like, I really don't think I've read another T. Kingfisher book. So that's exciting. I finished my first T. Kingfisher book. I'm really trying to think. Have I read? I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, I started, but I never finished it, so it's officially done. But yeah, that is all of the books I was reading this vlog, and I've wrapped them up. So I'm also going to wrap up this video. I'm very excited because I have been with these 2 books for a little while now, and I'm excited to get into something else. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you've read these 2 books and what your thoughts are. I will see you guys in my next video, and chat to y'all later. So, bye.